Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time we're going to do a Y-Buy on Shyvana, the half-dragon. And Shyvana is a champion who has kind of been under the radar, but I think will emerge as one of the OP champs in the upcoming months, especially as we move towards Season 4. I'm going to go for a cheeky little invade here, and we'll see what we find. But she is really strong champion as both a top laner and a jungler. I primarily play her in the top lane just because I don't really jungle all that often. Top lane is kind of my... Top lane and AD carry are probably my roles of choice, I would say. There we find a little Renekton, and he just gets dumped on. That was like... I think that kill right there was entirely because of the new brush changes. So that was kind of nice. And then also that kind of indicated that they wanted to do a lane swap, which I was kind of confused about. But we decided to go along with it anyways, because there's no real reason why Renekton would be bottom unless they wanted to do a lane swap. And then I think I run up here and I do find Twitch, but then I just totally derp out. So I find Twitch and I think, I wonder if I can go ham on him, and I feel like I'm pretty strong, but I take a couple of poke shots for free, and then I decide to go ham, and then I am doing pretty good damage, and I think I could have gotten the kill, but Sona showed up. So that was a pretty big mistake on my part. Pretty big derp right there. But anyway, Shyvana, she is really powerful. And I'm going to just list off her primary features, and this is going to amaze you guys. So she has mobility, mixed damage, percentage health damage, gap closer, and she's resourceless. I mean, what? This is the perfect combination of features in if you could describe your perfect top laner, this would pretty much be it. She is so good in terms of a fighter. She just is very powerful. She has tremendous damage. She just, like I said, tremendous mobility. It's mixed damage. I really like her kit. And like I said, I think that as Season 4 comes up, she's going to emerge as one of the OP champs that Riot is going to have to look at. So, anyways, let's get into her kit and figure out exactly what's going on. So, first of all, she is resourceless. The only resource that she uses is Fury, and her Fury is a mechanic that allows her to charge up her ultimate. So once she reaches 100 Fury, then she can use her ultimate. And it actually charges very quickly. It charges per second, and it increases, the charge time increases as you gain levels into it, but it also goes down the more auto attacks you do. So the more you auto attack, the faster that your Fury charges. I believe that is correct. Let me just double check this from the wiki site. I'm pretty confident. Yep. Her basic attacks generate 2 Fury. Correct. Alright, very good. So, anyways, that's her kind of... She's resourceless, which is a huge plus. Resourceless top laners have always been very strong. Renekton, Riven are emerging as some of the strongest top laners, like Shen even, Kennen, these champions that, I guess they have energy, but champions that basically don't use mana, that are unlimited in terms of spamming their abilities. It's a very powerful attribute to have, and something that I consider to be a pretty big strength of Shyvana's. So first up would be her passive. She gains free armor and magic resist, and these levels are doubled when she's in dragon form. Free armor and magic resist is some of the best stats in the game. It makes her innately tanky, which is really valuable. You don't necessarily have to itemize for it. And it also makes health a really good stat on Shyvana. So any item with health is going to be really powerful on her. Just look at that damage right there. Wow. That was my full combo, my WEQ onto that Twitch, and that just chunked him way down from a fight that we probably shouldn't have won to a fight that we came out ahead in. Looks like Brand is going to come up for the roam, but I'm going to speed away with my W, and I think I should be fine. I flashed his... Yep, I flashed his combo because I just didn't want to have any part of that shenanigans. But anyways, her passive. It just makes her very innately tanky, makes health a very good stat on her. If you guys don't know, defensive stats are best used in mixture, so you want to have a mix of health, armor, and magic resist. That's generally the best way to itemize for defense. Unless you're going against a double AP or an all AD team comp, then you obviously want to skew yourself more. But basically the idea is that a mixture of health and resistances is the best way to itemize for defense. Because, it just gives you the most power. Health and magic resist and armor kind of all work together in concert. So in terms of effective HP, if you get a lot of armor and magic resist, it's best to itemize health. And vice versa, if you get a lot of free health, it's best to itemize armor and magic resist. So a champion like Cho'Gath, who gets a lot of free health, you want to get Frozen Heart and Abyssal, items that give you a lot of resistances. But then champions who get a lot of free resistances, you want itemized health, like Jax, Olaf, Shyvana, Wukong, those types of champs. So this is a very good stat to have, and just a very strong passive. And then her Q is her Twin Bite. This is a auto attack reset, and it will basically double auto attack. The second strike is a weakened version, starting at 80% up to 100% as you rank it up. I guess 100% is not weakened, but and also the basic attacks will lower the cooldown of this ability by a half second. So very, very nice as well. And then when I'm just going to go through all the human forms, and then I'll go through them again when she's in dragon form, because Shyvana is a shapeshifter, kind of like Jace or Nidalee or Elise. Looks like we are going to unlane swap, and I'm going to go fair up against Renekton. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, that's her Twin Bite. I tend to max this ability last. The true power in this ability is the fact that it's kind of a double basic attack, so it applies all of your on-hit effects, which would be coming from your E, or the Blade of the Ruin King, or Lifesteal. All of those things get applied twice. And it's just a really nice ability in terms of increasing your DPS that way. So it's a really nice one-point skill, and it synergizes very nicely with her kit. I think I just used it right on that last minion that I killed. The next will be her Burnout W. This is what's spinning around me. This is kind of one of her primary skills. Basically what happens is she kind of inflames, and then in an AoE around herself, she deals magic damage per second, and she also gains a movement speed bonus. And then if she's auto-attacking, the duration of Burnout is increased. So it starts out at 3 seconds, but it can be increased to a maximum of 4 seconds for a total of 7 seconds of Burnout. You can see I'm using it to duel with this Renekton. This is kind of one of her primary forms of damage, and it's one of the reasons you can see I'm using it right here. One of the reasons why Shyvana is so difficult to deal with is because Renekton, I don't know what he's thinking here. Okay, he's going to flash away, which is unfortunate because I actually messed up my dragon. I was trying to knock him back, but he sidestepped me. But anyways, so Shyvana's Burnout is really, really cool. It has tremendous AD scaling and very high base damage, so if you can get the full duration off while you're auto-attacking someone and force them to sit in your Burnout, you're going to be doing tremendous amounts of damage. Another thing is that it helps her to be a very, very hard and fast pusher. She can farm minion waves very quickly. She's a very effective split pusher because of her Burnout. It not only helps her push, but it gives her the movement speed. It's just a very powerful and strong ability overall. Works really nicely with her kit. So next up would be her E, Flame Breath. This is a lined skill shot, and it will deal magic damage again to all enemies in a line, and it will mark them for 5 seconds, and then any auto attacks done to a marked enemy will deal 2% of their maximum health as bonus magic damage. So this ability has a couple things going for it. First of all, it's a ranged ability, so it gives her some sort of ranged harassment, which is really nice. I tend to max this ability second, but it is quite viable to max this ability first. Especially in the 2v1, I think I maxed this first specifically for that, but against a melee fighter, I would really tend to prefer Burnout because, if Renekton jumps on me and I activate Burnout, I'm probably going to win that trade just because of the high base damage that Burnout provides. But Flame Breath gives you really nice poke. And also, the 2% of maximum health is not something to be underestimated. This is a really powerful ability, and it's one of the reasons why, if you think about like with Shyvana's, with her ultimate and with her Q, she's going to want to itemize for attack speed, and she's also going to want to get that Q off, so your Q will actually double up on this ability. You can see right now both, as I'm getting jumped on here, going to run away with my ultimate, but both of them, I E'd them, so you can see the little mark above their heads. You want to auto-attack those characters to get that bonus damage. So again, max health, this is really good in the jungle against high HP monsters like the buffs or dragon or baron. It makes her shred those monsters very, very quickly. And it's just a very strong ability overall, and it really works nicely with her kit. Like I said, attack speed is really good on Shyvana. Look, see right there, using my W, E, Q to get a nice burst of damage onto Twitch. Unfortunately, I do fall, but I think Ari can clean up some of these kills, hopefully. So yeah, that would be Shyvana's Flame Breath. Then lastly would be her ultimate, Dragon's Descent. When you activate the ultimate, you dash in a direction, and you will drag any enemies that you run into along with you, and deal damage to them, and then you turn into your dragon form. When you're in dragon form, you have kind of a different set of your basic abilities. First of all, your passive is doubled, so you get double the armor and magic resist bonus, so you become even tankier. Then your Twin Bite will strike out in an AoE in kind of a small cone in front of her. And each unit will trigger on hit effects and grant Fury twice. So it really, really stacks very nicely. He's getting a nice kill there onto the Twitch. So again, you're doing AoE in front of you and still managing to proc all of the on-hit effects and get the auto-attack bonus. Your Burnout will actually trail behind you and linger. So anybody who is running behind you or chasing you will take the damage from Burnout, so it again becomes a bigger AoE. And then your Flame Breath fans out in a large cone in front of Shyvana, again dealing AoE damage. So basically, when you're in dragon form, you become an AoE monster, and you become even tankier. You become even more mobile. Everything basically in her kit just gets better. It's kind of the basic idea of the ultimate. And one thing I've noted there, I'm jumping into my ultimate right there. You can see the Burnout trail leaving behind me. But one thing that I really like, or actually I don't think that's the Burnout trail. I think that's just the damage from the ultimate. But one of the nice things about Shyvana's ultimate is that it's on especially if you're auto-attacking frequently, the cooldown seems very, very low. I actually don't have the math on what the cooldown is. But I want to say, if you gain 1 Fury every 1.5 seconds, I don't know exactly what that would be, but I'm guessing it's around a minute or so. And if you're auto-attacking especially, it's going to be up even faster. So it comes up very often, and it feels like it's up very often, which is really, really nice. So you can use it very quickly. You can use it to escape. You can use it to engage. You can use it during team fights to do a lot of AoE damage. It just is a very strong ultimate that synergizes really well with her kit. So yeah, those are Shyvana's abilities. I would say in lane, she's really hard to deal with because she does so much mixed damage. This is one of the reasons why someone like Jax is really strong, because it's very hard to itemize against him. And the same idea goes for Shyvana. It's very difficult for your opponents to itemize against you. They can't just build armor, they can't just build magic resist, they can't just build health. They have to build all of the above because, if they just build health, then your E shreds them. If they just build armor, then your W and your E shreds them. As you see him diving this Twitch here, going to hopefully pick him up. Now moving on to Baran. I wonder if I can get him. Nope, I actually do get taken out by his burst. But able to do my job and take out the AD carry. Hopefully my team can kind of follow up. This was crazy, some crazy team fights in this game. Yeah, so you do a lot of AoE, you do a lot of mixed damage, which makes her very difficult to deal with in lane. Again, she's really good against high health targets, she's good against high armor targets because she does magic damage, she's good against a lot of magic damage targets because she does a lot of physical damage. She just does a lot of damage in general. And like I said, it's very difficult to itemize against her, which makes her a very strong laner. She also has her range, so she can farm from range. It's very difficult to zone Shyvana. And she can push so fast that, if you do get a small lead, you can really take full advantage. I mean, just look how quickly I'm burning through this minion wave. Just picking up tons of farm, which is definitely one of Shyvana's greatest strengths. So yeah, that is Shyvana's kit. Now in terms of itemization, let's talk about this a little bit. Some of my favorite items on Shyvana. I really, really like Blade of the Ruin King. That's definitely my favorite item. In this game, I actually went for an early Tiamat because I've kind of been building Tiamat on every single champion that I can get away with just because I'm addicted to the wave clear. Shyvana really doesn't need any additional pushing power, but I really, really enjoy the extra wave clear. And it definitely works on her. It's definitely not a bad item, but I definitely think Blade of the Ruin King is the best item on her. It gives her attack damage, which she scales with her W and her Q. It gives her attack speed, which is really, really core to her E and her stacking her ultimate up quickly. It gives her, the lifesteal, which gives her sustain. That's one of her weaknesses. She doesn't have any sort of self-healing, so if she gets some lifesteal, she has also a lot of sustain in lane. And also the passive component, which does the 5% of current health on hit. Oh, unfortunately, in Twitch 12 stealth just at the wrong moment. But the passive component, dealing percentage damage, again, gives her another source of percent HP damage with her E. And also her Q will apply both hits, Blade of the Ruin King on both hits, which is really, really powerful. So you're getting kind of a double shot of the Blade of the Ruin King anytime you use your Q. So I really think Blade of the Ruin King is the best item for Shyvana. It also gives her some sticking power. One of Shyvana's, I would say her only real weakness is that she has no crowd control. None whatsoever. Not even a slow or anything like that, I don't think. So having the Blade of the Ruin King, I guess the knockback from her ultimate maybe, but the Blade of the Ruin King gives her some stickiness, gives her, if she wants to go on someone, she can Blade of the Ruin King them, and then they're going to have a hard time getting away. So that's, Blade of the Ruin King, it just has so many good things for Shyvana going for it that it makes it really a core item on her. Now from there, I really would like to go into 2 defensive items, and this can really, things can vary. I definitely think some HP would be core to maximize your passive, so something like a Randuin's or a Sunfire Cape or Spirit Visage or even a Frozen Mallet. I think in general people are a little bit down on Frozen Mallet, but I think there's a really strong argument to be made that it is an exceptionally good item on Shyvana because, one, it gives her a very consistent source of crowd control. Like I said, if with Blade of the Ruin King and your ultimate and Frozen Mallet, it is impossible for people to stay away, to keep people away from you. You have so much stickiness that you're going to get your damage off, and people are not going to get away from you. I actually think I went for the Frozen Mallet this game. I actually did finish it, and there were some times, especially I know against Renekton, where we had some duels where basically I jumped on him, and he can't handle my damage output, and so he just dies, because he can't get away. There's nothing he can do. Between my W speed up and my Blade of the Ruin King and my slow from Frozen Mallet, there's absolutely nothing that he can do to get away. And so yeah, I think Frozen Mallet is a really good item on Shyvana. Like I said, she gets a lot of free armor and magic resist, so you're helping that to go even further with your with the HP that you get. So yeah, overall I think that there's definitely an argument to be made about Frozen Mallet on Shyvana. But like I said, other than that, you can definitely go for Sunfire is a really, really strong first item against like a really difficult AD bruiser, like a if I was going against maybe someone like Garen or gonna try and peel this guy off. Not gonna do it so successfully though. But here's where you can see this Frozen Mallet slow. There's just nothing that he can do to get away. I think he's gonna flash the wall, and I'm gonna probably follow him and just go right in the mix and just look at him just diving the enemy team. And this is exactly the place where Shyvana shines. I do so much AoE damage. Annie and I just absolutely wrecked the end of that team fight. Because I have so much AoE damage, it makes me a very strong team fighter. Other items to consider. I do think that Hydra is a really, really good item. Maybe as like a 4th or 5th item, I would consider it just to really, really further increase her pushing and her AoE, which are already things that she does really well, and it just kind of takes it over the top. So I think that there's definitely, an argument to be made there for Hydra. Trinity Force would also be a really good choice. She doesn't really have anything that's of that low cooldown, so you're not going to proc the Spellblade passive, extremely frequently, but she can make use of pretty much all the stats except for the mana. Especially both the AD and the AP can help scale all of her abilities. Because her W and her ult and her E all scale with, her E and her ultimate scale with ability power, so the AP does not go to waste. The move speed is really nice. And so yeah, I think that those are definitely some strong items on Shyvana. One thing that I don't really like to do is get a lot of penetration. It's strange because I think armor and magic pen are really good, but she does so much mixed damage that it's hard to really justify like a Last Whisper. But here's the situation where I was talking about where I'm able to take out Renekton. I basically jumped on him, and once I started slowing him with my Frozen Mallet, there's just nothing he can do to get away. And it's just helping me to further establish my lead. Now coming in here to peel off Udyr from my AD carry, and then going to try and see and do what I can. Going to go ahead. Ooh, wow, he did a lot of burst, but there's a nice EQ combo, and with Ignite, going to blow him up. It looks like everybody on my team is just dead, so I'm just going to try and push these waves and take a tower if I can. But anyways, and then for boots, I would say Merc Treads are really, really good. It gives you some tenacity, it gives you some magic resist, and you're probably going to get in a big armor item, like I said, Sunfire or Randuin's as kind of an early-ish item against an AD bruiser in the top lane. So Merc Treads, I think, make the most sense. But yeah, you could do a lot of different things. If you're worried about getting kiting, you could do Boots of Swiftness. Ninja Tabby would be really, really good against a lot of auto attack heavy champions like Riven or Aatrox or Tryndamere. Definitely boots are always going to be situational. But so in terms of itemization, you really want to prioritize health, attack speed, and then some attack damage, and then some resistances. But I think health and attack speed are really two of the best stats on Shyvana. There I'm going to ult onto this guy and going to scare him away. And again, this slow, it just makes him makes me so sticky. It's impossible for people to get away from me, really. Going to peel off of him and go ahead and take this dragon. And so far in this, I actually got off to a bit of a rough start. The 1v2 was a little bit rough on me just because I wasn't able to farm as effectively, and I did give up an early kill to Twitch, being a little silly. But I've really started to make a comeback in this mid-game part of the game. I've been farming really hard, and have now leading everyone in CS by about 30 or 40, which is really, really good. I think that's one of the main benefits of Ravenous Hydra, is that your farming potential just goes through the roof, and your ability to quickly clear minion waves and then go and participate in a fight across the map is really, really valuable. So I do think Hydra was a solid choice because I needed the time to kind of catch back up and get back in this game. But this is, like, I think one of the moments where, just watch this this thing right here onto Twitch. So I go dive on him with my W, E, Q, hit him with my Blade of the Ruin King. Or actually not my Blade of the Ruin King, the active from my Ravenous Hydra, and pick up that kill. And then these guys are so mad, but look, I've already built up enough fury to use my ultimate, and I just get out of there scotch-free. Not a problem at all. Just goes to show you, Shyvana is really, really powerful. And so yeah, in terms of itemization, you definitely want to give yourself some beefiness. Because you have so much damage in your kit, I think that itemizing for survival is probably the best choice. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Now, in terms of gameplay, I'm going to mostly speak about this from a top lane perspective. In the jungle, I will speak briefly about that. She's very much a farm-oriented jungler. She doesn't really have any crowd control until she gets some items or red buff. So she has a hard time ganking pre-6, especially when she doesn't have dragon form. But once she kind of gets dragon form and maybe a CC item like Blade of the Ruin King, she can do some work. I am going to dive in here and try. It looks like I pick up the kill on Sona. Going to try to get my Ignite on Renekton, but not able to. Just trying to stall them for my team to come. Looks like Lee Sin did steal the Baron and is doing a ton of work, able to get Twitch and Brand, and it looks like they are going to probably finish off Udyr here, so good job, team. So very, very good for us to steal the Baron and to go ahead and clean them up. So I went in and suicided, but I think the dive was very much worth it. But anyways, in terms of gameplay, so in lane, you really want to make sure you're utilizing your W-E-Q combo. You know, you activate your burnout, you get in melee range, you hit them with your E, and then you hit a quick Q. And then you just kind of start auto-attacking them and keep proccing the passive from your E over and over again. That's really your best source of damage. You just get so much mixed damage. You've got, like I said, magic damage, physical damage, percentage health damage. It's very difficult for enemies to trade effectively with you. You do need to be mindful of pushing the wave, so buying some wards is really important on Shyvana because you do push the wave with your W. But you also have good escape with your W, so you're not as risky as some other laners who tend to push. Maybe someone like Kale, her escape isn't quite as good as Shyvana's. Shyvana's escape is very, very good. And so yeah, you wanna and you can play aggressively with Shyvana. She definitely can trade very, very well early on in lane. People are often surprised by her damage; they just don't see it coming. And here we go. Watch this, diving onto Twitch and getting the kill under tower in a 2v1. We need to watch this one more time because this just goes to show you how strong Shyvana is in terms of being a bruiser who can duel. Twitch gets the jump on me. I ult him. W, E, Q, Ignite, Blade of the Ruin King, using my Tiamat, and I pick up that kill. Gonna flash out of here so that Brand doesn't finish me off. But that was a 2v1 under tower and ended up picking up the kill on a fed Twitch who's got Eye-Edge, Bork, and Static Shiv. So overall that went really, really well for me. I do have 191 armor, which is probably giving him fits, but that's going to be really, really good for me. 70 armor from that, 20 armor from my passive just makes my health go a really long ways. And so yeah, but I also think that Shyvana works really well in terms of just farming. Like, you really don't have to feel any pressure in terms of, like, I need to get early kills, I need to establish lane dominance. Like, you can just farm and not worry about, you know, because you scale so well with items, you scale so well with tankiness, as it looks like Lee Sin kind of got caught out here. You scale so hard that it just, you know, again, diving into the middle of these three people, going to focus Twitch, going to pick up that kill. Now focusing onto Sona, going to help pick up that kill. Now moving on to Renekton and Udyr. Probably going to back away. Yep, I think we're going to probably try and just get out of here. I think I'm going to go all in, try to pick up this kill on these guys under tower, but... Oh, shoot, Udyr is too strong. A little bit too tanky for my likes, especially with his shield. It makes him hard to deal with. Oh, and Lee Sin is going to probably go down as well. Darn, that's annoying. He is deceptively high up with his spammable shield. But anyways, like I said, in lane, you really can just focus on farming. You don't have to play aggressively, but you certainly can trade really well with your WEQ. But yeah, get your Blade of the Ruin King. And then from there, Shyvana is actually a really strong split pusher, so there are a couple of different things you can do towards the end of the game. You can try and group and team fight, because Shyvana actually is also a very strong team fighter, like I said, especially with her dragon form. She gets tremendous amounts of AoE damage, so team fighting is definitely a strong choice with Shyvana, but she's just as equally well suited to split pushing. Split pushing is really, she's probably one of the better split pushers in the game right now, to be honest. Right up there with Tryndamere. Her pushing power is fantastic. Her escapability is really good with her W and her ultimate. And her tower pushing with her Q is really good. I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can actually use your Q on towers as well. So yeah, her split pushing is really, really good, and it's a very viable choice. I find that split pushing works best when you do it. First of all, you have to buy wards. Second of all, you have to be strong. If you're not a strong champion, you're just going to, somebody's just going to come and kill you. But if you're strong and you can demand 2 people at least to come and handle you, that's exactly what you want to do. And Shyvana is really capable of that. You've seen how many times I've been able to 1v2 because I have so much AoE damage. I have so much, mobility and damage output that it just makes it very difficult for people to deal with me. Going to try and peel this Renekton away off of my carries. He's diving both of my carries, and so I'm going to peel him off. Now going to go ahead and dive their backline. Getting crowd control, but that does not scare me. A nice stun by Brand right there is probably going to halt this procession. Just going to lifesteal off this wave and be fine. So yeah, you can team fight and use your AoE, use your mobility to your advantage, or you can choose to split push as well. Both work equally well. It just kind of depends on the game situation, how comfortable you are split pushing. Split pushing requires some good map awareness. You also need to be aware of just kind of game flow and when teams are going to group and try to do Baron, and when pressuring is the better option. But in general, I think that if you can learn how to split push really well, it's a very, very strong choice. But if you are going to stick with your team and team fight, Shyvana is definitely a diver. She's really, really good at using her ultimate to dive through the entire team. And in that process, you are, in 1, peeling the divers off of your carries because you're dragging them with you. And then 2, you're getting yourself on top of the enemy carries. And with the build that I have, I'm extremely sticky. With Blade of the Ruin King, Randuin's, and Frozen Mallet, it's impossible for Twitch to get away from me once I get on top of him. And I'm too tanky, and I have too much damage for him to deal with me. So, if I can get onto Twitch and get my W going, get my E going, get my Q going, Blade of the Ruin King, and just auto to death, that's going to be your best bet. Shyvana is a very, very good champion to dive the backline. But yeah, so anyways, if you're looking to pick up Shyvana and you're wondering why, I would say that she's got to be one of the best champions in the game for just kind of a very, very strong all-around. She has high damage, high mobility. Basically the only thing she doesn't have is crowd control. But I tend to try and make up for that with my itemization, with Blade of the Ruin King, with Frozen Mallet, with Randuin's. That gives me the crowd control that I need. And then I can bring to the table all of my damage, my mobility, and then be a very all-around champion. Good at so many different things. Very, very difficult for your opponents to deal effectively with you. Good against tanks. Good against backliners, just a very, very hard champion to really stop and shut down. And so, yeah, she's a really fun champion to play as well, I think. And a lot of times people underestimate you because she hasn't been... it's like when you play someone like, Jax or Renekton or Tryndamere, these champions that people have seen a lot, they tend to know what to do. They know how to trade against them effectively. They know what needs to be done to have success. But against Shyvana, there's a little bit of an unknown factor where people don't really know her that well. They don't really know how much mixed damage she does. They don't really know how to itemize properly against her. They don't know how to trade very well against her. Even just something like sitting in her Burnhout is a mistake that a lot of your opponents will make. But So yeah, this is going to be my why buy Shyvana. I really enjoy her. I think she's very, very strong, and I would not be surprised if she got a bit of a nerf, just to tone her down a little bit, because she brings so much to the table. Just that like trifecta of a lot of physical damage, a lot of magic damage, and a lot of percentage health damage. It almost makes it impossible to itemize against her defensively. And then when you bring all that damage, and add to it items that give you crowd control, with the slows, it just makes her very, very difficult to deal with. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to try out Shyvana, but don't make it too popular, because otherwise people will catch on, and then I'm going to have a hard time playing her because she's going to start getting banned and or nerfed. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new around here, feel free to like or subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.